Hello, I'm Greg Rinckey. I'm one of the founding partners of Tully Rinckey. Today, we're going to talk about establishing credit when you're going through a divorce. One of the first things you should do is pull your credit history and your credit reports through any of the credit bureaus. And that will show you what your credit score is, what accounts are open, any joint accounts that you're signers on. Once you have that, it's important to start establishing credit in your own name. So you should open a credit card in your own name, and then you should also start using it for small purchases so that you're establishing credit. The other thing that you want to do too is open a bank account, checking, savings account, putting some money, making some direct deposits in there so you have access to your own funds. And that your spouse may not have access to those funds. You do have to be careful, though, of moving money from a joint account into your separate account, though. So you should discuss that with a lawyer before you start moving any funds that are in a joint account. The other thing that's important is to start establishing credit, and that means you want to start putting some of the utilities potentially in your name and making payments so that you have established credit, so that when you do eventually split or you do start out on your own, that there is an established credit line and companies will give you credit. Most importantly, when you're going through a divorce and establishing credit and talking about financials, it's very important to discuss this with a lawyer about what you can do and what you really shouldn't do and could be used against you in a divorce. But this is one of the most important things that you should start doing months out before you actually split or before you actually file for divorce. You also want to make sure that you're maintaining copies of various financial documents, tax returns, mortgages, so that you have copies of utilities and you have the ability to reference those materials. Oftentimes, those sometimes go missing once the divorce starts. So it's important to make copies and maybe store them in the cloud or store them off site. But these are small things that you can start doing now that will make a major impact in your life and make your life easier once you start undergoing a divorce.